All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Welcome to another live interview. I'm so excited to be bringing you this live interview today. Sorry, we're a little delayed. We were going to try and do it via Zoom, but I think we were just having some errors with everything. Let's see if I can get some more. Maybe the lighting will be. See, this is your light. Does it work? How do I even? The back has a button. Ta-da! Oh, okay. So we're gonna see if we can get her on. One sec. So hello, hello everybody. Oh yeah, I'll have it here. And we're just gonna see, I'm gonna have Miss Emily on with me today. We're gonna be talking, Emily and I have been working together for quite some time. And let's see here. She sent me a box or so one. Okay. Hi, Jamie. Good to see you. Sorry for the technical error. There's Emily. Hi, everybody. And we'll just wait. By the way, guys, I would love to know there she is. While we're waiting on this, thank you, Emily. Guys, down below, what is a goal that you're reaching for right now? Like, what is a goal? Give some thumbs up, give some hearts for Emily coming on with us today, all the way from Arizona. Can you see me all right, Em?
Woo. I can see you. Yeah, the voice doesn't really match the movement, but I think we can hear each other okay.
Yes, I can hear you. So Emily, guys, is a client of mine who's been working with me. I think we first started working together back technically in July.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Around, I think so, actually. Jeez.
Yeah. So guys, just before we get started, I'd love for you guys, let's be interactive here. Comment down below, what is a goal that you're working towards right now? Or what is something that you're struggling with that's kind of keeping you stuck? I kind of introduced this whole idea that a lot of times what keeps us stuck more than anything is ourselves, is kind of either that negative inner bully or that negative self-talk or that feeling of self-sabotage because we have kind of low self-worth, or maybe don't feel good enough because of the way our body looks, or because of maybe we don't feel smart enough, or whatever it is. But I'd love for you to comment down below, guys, what is a goal that you are really going for right now, or what is standing in your way? And let's make sure that we're really supporting each other in that. And then, guys, this is Emily. I'll just introduce. Emily's amazing. She's just a beautiful person inside and out, and we've been working together off and on since July, and July 2020, and I am just so thankful you are here. And I would love for you, Emily, to introduce yourself to the group.
Yeah.
How did you get started? When did we start working together? Where were you?
Yeah, so I'm Emily. I have been working with Kelly. Person. I do love life, but I don't always know how to take care of myself or really live it to the fullest. And I was struggling a lot during COVID. I think I think everybody has some not so positive coping mechanisms. And then once COVID hit last year, there's not really a way that I was refilling my bucket. And then those mechanisms I used to use, that being food, negative self talk, really got to me. I was moving from different houses. I was living with different friends. I was doing a lot of different jobs. And I just felt totally out of control with food. It got to the point where it was consuming me when I would go to sleep, wondering like what I would be eating the next day. During the day, I had a lot of restrictions and I would overeat. I was just not happy at all with my body, and I was just doing some things that I wasn't proud of. So I have a history of an eating disorder. I guess since I was young, I've done lots of therapy for it, and I've been to rehab twice. So got to a point where I thought I'd be going back to rehab. I actually called an old counselor. I told her what I was doing, and she told me that you need to go back to rehab and actually get healed this time. I really wasn't sure it was going to be different. I've done it, for 3 months inpatient, and then 40 days inpatient, and I just never really got the tools to really manage myself. And now that I'm older and have a career, don't really, I didn't want to make the time to be impatient again. And I didn't really think I needed it.
Yeah.
So I ended up reading a book, Brain Over Binge, from cover to cover. And one day I was on a Facebook group about, weight loss and how to get help. And I reached out. And this book was all about changing your mind, and kind of went against rehab, which was new for me, but interesting. And I was curious. So I made a post on this random Facebook group, and then Kelsey responded and kind of just gave me hope that you can get over disordered eating or get through an eating disorder without going to rehab. So yeah, she called me. We talked for like an hour. I was very skeptical but very desperate, and my life kind of forever changed. So I just can't thank you enough. I've never been this happy or healthy ever. Not to say I'm all cured and fixed, but I'm just so much lighter and kinder to myself. And I've never loved life so much.
I love that word, by the way. I'm just going to comment on that because I've heard that from so many clients when they're first starting with me. I've never felt so heavy in my entire life. They'll say that, like, I've never felt so heavy. And it's just an interesting word to use because obviously they're talking about their weight, right? But there's also this weight of just not feeling good, not feeling good in your own skin, all the stress, all the weight of the world on your shoulders. And for you to now say, I just feel so light.
Yeah.
And that can be so many things. Like, you're a light of inspiration. You're just light and free and not held back. And I really appreciate, guys, like, to be at the point of again, reaching for inpatient, like, and the biggest thing for you, what was the biggest tool or some of the biggest things that you learned in working together that you think has led you to this place you are now?
It's honestly so many things that I don't even, it's just ingrained in me now. It's not like I'm so aware of it. For one is identity.
Yes.
The whole, like, I read about your thing when we first started it, like, the whole redesign program, like, recognize, redefine, it's like, okay. But now it's like, yeah, my language is different. I don't have an eating disorder, and I never thought I would ever say that or I'd ever achieve that. But, sometimes I have a hard time, or in the past, or sometimes, food is, I don't always use it in the most healthy way, but it doesn't control my life. I'm not defined by it. And then I just think, regimen wise, it was really interesting to start this program and not have a regimen to follow. Like, not a meal plan, not be able to weigh myself. It was scary in the beginning, but it's just realistic. And it's kind of outside of food, this whole program has kind of flown into every area of my life, whether that be money or relationships. It's moderation, and it's just realistic. Like, I'm realizing that goals don't have to be crazy big. Just like things don't have to be crazy black or white or good or bad. It's just, here I am, here it is. Let's enjoy it. If it doesn't work out, okay. If I don't do perfectly, I'm human. And that's okay. So, yeah, I think the redefinement, the language, the self-care. This is like the first time I'm actually putting myself before others at times and realizing that it's nice. I show up better. I'm just slowing down. When we work together, there's a lot of things that I'm recognizing. Like, before a behavior or action, like, there's a thought. And of course, there's a thought, but I'm actually inviting that thought, and I can question that thought. I can listen to that thought. I can depict that thought. I can dissect it. I can hear it. But, like, it's there's a thought. It's always like, usually it's a feeling and an action, a feeling and an action. And now it's like, oh, like, what do I actually need? and how can I take care of myself for what I need. If that makes sense.
Oh, I love that. Like that was definitely some of the things they talk about. Like if you ever feel like you're on autopilot with food, like especially when a stressful event happens, or maybe it's late at night, or you come home from work and you just automatically find yourself in the fridge, just recognize it's a habit. Like it's just a habit. It's your autopilot. And for you, in order to break the habit, we have to find the trigger, right? We have to recognize that thought. I loved, you had been the one who said it's like a doorbell.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you get to say whether that thought or that feeling, whether you get to bring it in. And then recognizing if this is this thought, if this is what I'm feeling, just like you said, asking the question instead, what do I need right now?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm reaching for food, but this is my autopilot. This is my coping mechanism. This is just whatever. So to interrupt that, what do I really need right now? So for you, what were some things when you were able to interrupt that pattern and ask yourself, what were some things that you did instead of reaching for food?
Honestly, the best thing that I did for myself was just take a couple breaths and wait a few minutes, because all of these feelings for me was a sense of urgency. Typically, I would abuse food when I felt inadequate, anxious, overwhelmed, stressed, sometimes even happy. But all of the urges I have had are all come from a place of I need this right now, and there's nothing else I need. Then when I feel that way, it's like, okay, like what is making me anxious? What am I scared about? So honestly, a few breaths would be okay. Sometimes music. Phoning a friend is okay too, depending who it is. But the Voxer has helped me a lot. I don't use it crazy often, but I do have the messages saved of when I have used it in the past because it's the same feelings, and just writing it down is does more for me than saying it or feeling it. Like when I write something down, it's like, oh, I don't know why it hits me harder, but it does.
I honestly, like, that's been the coolest thing for me. It's been something that the first time around we didn't have access to.
Mm-hmm.
And the second time with me, like starting to work with me, now I've added Voxer support. And like, I remember when I was a personal trainer, like I would only see my clients maybe once, maybe twice a week, right? And I wasn't able to support them in between our sessions. And the same thing, like you've gone to therapy, like, so you have a great session with your therapist, and then something happens maybe a day or 2 days later, and you're like, oh, well, like, I guess I'll hold on to this until our next session. But now with Voxer, like you guys are able to like, when something's happening, you're able to talk about it with me right then and there. And even if I don't respond right away, for you to be able to write out your feelings or speak them out, I really appreciate when you guys do that, because I think it's a pattern interrupt for you in a safe space.
It is. And
But
I think it's
for anything else.
Oh, sorry, keep going. What was I going to say? We'll keep going. It'll come back to me.
I'm sorry. No, I know we've got a little bit of, but I'm really, and guys, if you ever feel like you struggle with binge eating, like, please, there's so many resources, and one of the biggest resources that she talks about and that I believe in is this Brain Over Binge by Katherine Hansen. And it kind of talks about, again, neuroplasticity. I want you guys to recognize you're not broken. Don't, like, we have this need to be consistent with how we identify ourselves. So if we identify ourselves as being broken, if we identify ourselves as having like, oh, this is who I am, I'm always going to have an eating disorder, I'm always going to struggle with food, I'm always going to be overweight, we're wiring that into our brain. It's the same thing, like recognizing that this is just an autopilot coping mechanism. You're not broken. It can be fixed. There is hope. It really is. And like you said, I would love for you to comment a little bit for you. Like you said, it's not black and white. It's not that all or nothing. What does that mean for you now?
Now it means that it's just, with food, with mood, with money, it's more of just, I guess that just means giving yourself grace. And yes, there's a grace scale, but what that looks like is, I guess, in terms of food, that undeniable queen, for instance. So because if I do this, then I feel that, or then I am that. It's kind of that worthiness parallel that used to, you know, combine with food and peace of mind, whatever. But now I guess that grayscale I get to live is, what do I feel like? I can buy it. Um, I can go out to eat with friends and not have to change my way of eating beforehand, not have to think about it afterwards, and get a restful sleep at night without thinking of food or what I'm going to eat the next day. It's not an obsession at all right
Mm-hmm.
now. And then it just kind of goes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I
That's
can hear
my
you now.
bad. My phone's going off because I have a timer put on for social media. I am allowing myself like a certain amount of time a
Oh,
day, so it's going to be going off every 15 minutes.
no, that's good. No,
Grayscale.
I appreciate having.
Yes, and then
But yeah, so that all or nothing. Sorry, keep going.
yeah, and then even with money, it's just like I'm just allowed to have things. I'm allowed to have food. I'm allowed to have a healthy relationship. I'm allowed to have things. I guess bottom line, and I'm
I think
worthy of it.
something for us, a big aha I remember you having is like, I feel like everything has to be a struggle. Like, in order to lose weight, it has to be hard. In order to heal, it has to be hard. In order to have a nice relationship, it has to be hard. In order to have money, I have to work really, like, everything has to be hard. And is that, I mean, and just understanding. And for you, what was that big aha moment for you?
Honestly, it was kind of after a while of doing the small wins, and then making up my 2021 life picture and just learning what's realistic.
The vision.
Um, the vision board, yeah, but I guess things don't have to be so hard. It hit me when things weren't so hard and I was finding progress. And that whole progress, not perfection, is really a thing. But when you start seeing progress and, realizing that small steps are more important than huge ones, and giving myself more grace in
Mm-hmm.
terms of time, in terms of goals, and just learning what's realistic and what's important. Um, but yeah, that was really hard for me because my whole life, my upbringing was all about struggle, and it really was ingrained in me. If you don't struggle, you're not worthy of the reward. But
Right.
I don't know, seeing myself through a kinder perspective, like I see other people, like I want to give people everything. There's just some people I love that I just think deserve the world. And the more like inner reflection I was able to do, the more I recognize that I don't have to be an exception anymore. And the harder I am on myself, the like harder my energy is. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody needs to be around that.
Mm-hmm. I know that's hard. Like, so many of us feel like, but if I don't beat myself up, I'll like eat myself into oblivion, or I'll let
Yeah.
myself go, or I won't even try. And it's so backwards, because actually when we give ourselves grace and compassion and celebrate our wins, we feel good. And so we want to take care of ourselves. We want to nourish ourselves. We want to do nice things for ourselves just out of love.
Yeah.
And the problem with feeling like you need to beat yourself up and punish yourself is then you end up feeling bad about yourself. Why would you take care of something that's a POS? Like,
Right. And it's
why would
also
you do that?
overcompensating. It's like the higher
Yeah.
you are, the farther you fall. So it's like the harder you are on, or the harder I was about things, the more intense I would go in this direction to either A, restrict, B, save money, C, be kind of absent in my relationship. Like it was very this way, and then it was, then I lose it, and I'm great, and then I'm bad, and it's just like, it's just too much that, and my brain can only think of so many things in a day. So if it's all consuming on, you know, food or action, if I lose it a little bit, I'm going to just completely go off the deep end. And I did that so many times. And then I
Well,
realized
it's
that,
that.
yeah, yeah. But it actually, like, I actually feel that. It's easy for me to hear it, and it always was. But then once you actually go through it, you just take small steps. It's like a game board, you know. It's like one at a time, but you get there, and then before you know it, you win. And so many things happen in that process, whether it be the people you meet, the little challenges that don't feel huge but are, because the more you do them, the better you get. And then before you know it, there's those big things that just feel so little, if that makes sense. So it's a little collection of
No,
tools I feel like I've acquired. Yeah. Now I have this big box of teeny little things that just work together well. So the big things, you know, don't really feel big. It's the little ones that nip you in the ass. But
no,
yeah.
but that's the thing too. Like it's the little things that build up into big things. But I want people to understand that too. It's the little negative thoughts, the little negative things that over time really tear us apart and are really destructive. It starts small, but it compounds, and that's what leads to self-sabotage. That's what leads to feelings of unworthiness. And it just starts with small thoughts. It starts with recognizing that. And so I love that that's where you started with all this. And so for now, like, and obviously, like you said, like recognizing it's a journey, recognizing that like it's never about the destination. Like I love the analogy, like we love going on vacations, right? But technically the final destination is to come back home. So if we're focused on the destination, why would we even leave it all? Like the whole point is the journey. The whole point is the ups and downs and just being present with it. So right now, where would you say you are right now?
Right now, to kind of go back to some analogies, like thoughts are not facts, and neither are feelings. So right now, I feel like I am just on a constant trip. I feel like I've been on vacation with my job. You know, I'm traveling every month. But I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I really, you know, I have direction, but I feel like I really have no set ending points, if that makes sense. Every day has been an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity for me to kind of use my tools. If, you know, I don't use them, or if I don't use enough of them, I just keep learning. Um, so right now, this is my first time in life. I have been content. I've always been somebody in a rush or searching for something, and I feel like you know, that whatever, I've arrived. I'm not perfect, you know, I'm not done, but I feel like I have a lot of tools that I can choose to use. I'm open to new things, and I really love myself. You know, I might not be at my goal body, but at the end of the day, it's like, I don't really know what that would look like. You know, I have this whole idea, but I feel like, you know, there's so much more going on in my life right now that the time I want to invest in this goal body is not as important. um, I had the best couple months. You know, I'm traveling, I'm nursing, I'm working in places, I am experiencing different cultures, I'm going to restaurants, doing new foods. I do exercise when I can find time, sometimes in the mornings, but I do it a lot according to how I feel. And that kind of lays out my exercise, whether it be weights, running, yoga, or nothing at all. And I have a really healthy relationship. And this is my first healthy romantic relationship ever. I'm learning that I deserve love. And I'm learning that
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to say the wrong thing. It's okay to feel bad, you know, about something. And it's okay to be, I guess, forgiven. So I think this whole
Yeah.
journey has been learning to forgive myself, recognize that I'm going to keep messing up. And then that's the same with food. But I just feel like I've arrived. I know what I stand for. I have values, and I do my best. And that's really all I can ask for at the end of the day.
Sure. And you've gotten to PA or NP nurse practitioner school as well. I'm very proud of you.
And it's so exciting. Because before I entered this program with you, what moved me the most in joining was where I'm at right now. Where do I see myself in a year or two, without help doing the same thing? And then where I am now, it's like, where do I see myself in a year or two? So I've been able to apply for school. That was something that, if I'm not perfect, if I'm not eating like a perfect practitioner or modeling because I'm, a nurse and all these things, and I can't have a career like this if I'm not perfect. And now it's like, I don't know any practitioner who is perfect. Do I still feel inadequate and nervous? Yes. Do I still feel like I have so much to learn? Absolutely. But I think everybody starts there. It's just ignorance. It's the fear of things you don't even know, anticipation of things that might never happen. And I'm realizing that that's just normal. I don't have to sit and hear it all day. It's more of like, okay, this is concerning, but all I have to do is do some research. All I have to do is give myself a little peace of mind. And, this too shall pass. So yeah, I've got a big summer ahead. I'm moving to the Grand Canyon next month, for real. I'm packing all my things today.
Oh my
I'm driving to California tomorrow. My next trip, solo. My first time ever driving solo for more than like 2 or 3 hours. And then
this is exciting. You've had a lot of big firsts, by the way, which is, I know for you, like one of them was not knowing if you'd be capable of living alone.
Huge, terrifying. Yeah. And
talk about that. Why that was scary for you and what you learned in that process.
Because of my history of an eating disorder and identity of I will have one and always will have one, I felt like I can't be trusted on my own. B, I can't manage myself on my own. And C, it's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And what does that look like? So I was terrified. I really thought that on my own, because I don't trust myself and I'm a scary person, I will be out of control. I was very surprised that was not the case. I was on the plane. I wrote a whole sticky note of affirmations, but things that are really things I need to work on. That being, I have everything I need to be happy. Whatever in front of me is enough. And then on the fridge, I put on the light switches, and then I put a couple of, are you actually hungry? Rate it. What would you do if your boyfriend Ty was here? Would you eat this in front of him? Would you use a utensil? And then even in my utensils, I say, I eat with utensils. I sit down when I eat. I'm a mindful eater. And I'm a very good nurse. I get adequate sleep. Everything that I feel like would make my life better is going to get written down in a place where I will see it every day. I floss. That was new and is new. Yeah. And I never want to roommate again. I made my house my little apartment, my little hotel home. It was so clean. I didn't even want to leave it. And usually I'm not a homebody. I never would name any house or place home because I never feel comfortable. And there was nothing special about this hotel. It was white sheets. There was a little kitchen. There was a shower with free shampoo and conditioner. And I was in Massachusetts, so there's so much to do. It's cold, but I was just so proud of how I regulated. I had a glass of water at my bedside I'd put at night, so in the morning I would drink it. I had my journal at my bedside, so every night I'd write in it. I'm doing things that are realistic. For me, sometimes journaling can be a task because there's so much to write. So I just boiled it down to, the 3 things you're grateful for, 3 things you're proud of, 1 affirmation. And that's how I ended each day, no matter what. And before work, I often did yoga with, what's her face?
Yoga with Adrian.
I did her little 40-day challenge, whatever. And I put on music. I got a candle. It was just a really safe place, and I felt safe. and there's nobody to impress but myself. I did a really good job of doing that. Like, I wore cute pajamas. I did a face mask. I do things I never do, and there was no one else to worry about. And I realized, yeah, I think I just lose myself in the service of others at times.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I have more tools and capabilities than I give myself credit for. And I was able to use and see all of those when I've been away. And now I never want to roommate again. Like, I specifically found a studio in California on my own. It's tiny, but
Nice.
by myself. And I'm loving this chapter of independence.
I love that. Like, I remember, guys, take nothing else, like, part of it is redesigning your environment. That can be your social environment, whether those toxic relationships or people in your life, but also your physical environment. And I'm not talking about, like, put your trigger foods out of the house. I'm talking in a safe environment, like lighting a candle, having music, having things that are encouraging and around you, creating a space that you would sit and make yourself a meal, even if it's just for you, because you know you deserve it. You deserve to take that time for mealtime. Like, that's what I mean by redesigning your environment. And you did that. And I was so just unbelievably proud of you. And to now know you can do it again and to see how far you've come, I'm so proud of you. And speaking of this, we'll just kind of wrap this up a little bit, but for you, you've now worked with me for some time. What would you say to anyone who's on the fence of just having a coach? I know so many of us are in this place where I'm like, I'll just get the meal plan and I'll just get this workout plan and I'll do it. I know this time will be different. This time I'll do it. This time is day one. Why do you think a coach makes it so much more different and actually following through?
I guess looking at myself, I've tried that so many times. And if I haven't succeeded now, why would I succeed later? I think I never thought that I would need support. What I need to do, I just need to do it. But I think with a coach, it's not like you're getting your hand held, but it's like a cheerleader. Like, you're a coach, you're a cheerleader, you're a teammate, and you're kind of my side referee who I don't always know I need, like when I'm going in a different direction, but it's also a different perspective. I think a lot of the reasons I struggled in the past is because I'm obviously doing something wrong that I don't recognize. Like that being a meal plan, that being a workout routine, any kind of routine or regimen, I think that is not going to consistently be your forever, is not going to work. If that makes sense. And it's also just instilling.
Yeah, if you're doing like an exact meal plan, the moment you're off the meal plan, guys, if you feel like you failed, like there's going to be birthday parties, there's going to be restaurants, there's going to be events, and if you feel like you can't live your life, that's not sustainable. Sorry.
It's not sustainable. And I feel like for me, my eating and thinking got in the way of myself, my relationships with people, my sleep. And I just feel like if you're not experiencing your best life, if you don't like who you are right now, I really don't believe that you're in a mindset where you can change it individually. Yes, counseling can help in some ways, but I feel like the 24/7 coach is really what changed everything with that Voxer. Once it's out on the table, it's kind of just like, the way I think, you've been through it before. It gives me hope that I can do it. And there's so many other people going through this. And it's like, you're never alone. And I feel like a lot of times in this journey, it's easy to feel like you have to do everything by yourself and you're responsible for everything that happened to you. It's all your fault and you can fix it. But it's really, you're never alone and you should never feel that way. And recovering doesn't have to be as hard. Yeah. And having people to relate
I appreciate
so important.
And I know that you've also, because we also have an online course, and we've got the group, and anyway, so just know, guys, like, you're not alone. Please know that you're not alone. We've got an amazing group of women who understand what you're going through. And we're not going to be, we celebrate our wins, but our wins are not like, I lost 2 pounds, which is probably water weight. You know, it's like, today I really showed up for my family, or today I was, you know, I'm really proud I did my strength training routine, or today I'm really glad I listened to my body and I slept. But it's a really supportive group of women who just like beautiful souls. So
and it really it starts.
Thank you, Miss Emily. Is there anything?
Yes, thank you
The
so
what?
much. It starts with food, but the journey turns into everything else. That in the end, like the food is fixed to an extent, you know, but your life is just more manageable and nice. So, yeah.
No, and guys, like I would check in, like she was saying, like sometimes it's not binge eating, sometimes it's feeling like you're obsessed with food. Like that was a real big struggle for me. Like I would eat breakfast, and the moment I finished breakfast, I was thinking about what I was going to eat for lunch. Like, was it going to fit in my macros and my calories? And then like the minute I ate lunch, then I'd be thinking about dinner. And I was always like, and then if something happened, like maybe someone brought me a coffee, or maybe someone, you know, brought donuts or brought chocolates, or something was off my plan or out of my macros, I would just, then I'd end up like binging later or just losing control because it wasn't perfect, and I beat myself up, and I was constantly just thinking about food. I couldn't think about anything else except for food and my weight. And so that is something that you struggle with. I need you to know that it's normal with diet culture, but it doesn't have to be that way. There is so much more to life. There is so much more to life when we can let go. And I'm not saying that you're not going to still be healthy and nourishing and taking care of your body, but you don't have to obsess about it. You don't have to be perfect. It's okay. It's okay. But anything you think that we should add? Any guys? Do you have any questions? Thank you, Emily. Very good reminders of the journey. Thank you, Michelle, for being here.
Aw.
Michelle's been with me for a long time. So if anyone has any questions about the program or working with me, be sure to check out Michelle, or be sure to ask Emily. They're in the group. But any questions, guys, that you have for Emily, would love for you to comment them down below. Anything you think we should add, Em?
Trust the process and know that you're worthy of having a good, healthy life. You're worthy of everything, and that it is doable. You know, life without obsessing about food or weight is the best life. Never thought I'd have one. So, yeah.
Oh, Tanya's here.
Hey, dear friend.
Aww. And let's, I love your story. You're amazing. Thank you, Garen.
It's a beautiful support group, you know. I can't thank you enough for
I'm really
inviting me to this and creating this. You've helped so many people, but you've just changed my life. And I really never thought I would ever be here. So, thank you.
It comes down to you being ready, guys. When you're ready to make that change, when you're ready to let go and to live your best life, it is possible. So thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, guys, or want to learn more, obviously, please feel free to reach out to Emily. She's in the group. Reach out to Michelle. Feel free to reach Tanya. I'm so truly proud of you, Em. You have come so far. Come so far.
So fat and skill, girl. Fat and skill. PFAT, perfectly hot and tempting. Thank you. That's so funny.
Oh my God. I'm quiet as well, because I know, and we're so happy to have you, Tanya. I love all of my girls so much. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. I just, like, you bring me so much joy and just inspire me. Please feel free, guys, if you want to learn anything, I give free 30-minute value calls to anyone in this group, only in this group, and just to sit down and help you kind of sit down and work through some things, maybe strategize. It doesn't have to be to sign up for coaching, but if you just want to learn more about the program or learn more about anything that can help set you free, just please feel free. You can comment down below, call, you can message me, call, reach out to anybody. But Emily, I could not thank you.
Aww.
Thank you so much for being
absolutely
part of my life.
Thank you. You will stay in my life. Thanks, guys.
Oh, All right, guys. Well, we'll finish this up. I hope everyone has an amazing day. If you're not in Arizona or Mexico, hope you're not too cold. And we'll see you next week. Okay, guys?
Bye.
Ooh. Bye, Emily. Thank you.